We review it Wednesday.
Introducing your hosts.
I know there's been a lot of speculation of whether or not I am Matt Logan. And yes, I am Matt Logan.
I'm Tyler. Tyler Peterson.
Slugheads.
Are you going to make more?
Apparently they're going to make 2 more.
You think so?
And The Rock is getting a whole spin-off series now, too. Well, I guess that's a
Well,
spoiler
he kind
right
of
ahead.
did. Yeah, right out of the gate. He kind of already did, though. He had Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, but then there was a huge feud.
Yeah, but
Celebrities
I
have
don't
big
know.
feuds. They don't talk to each other for weeks, years.
Yeah. Well, we did talk about Robin Williams and how he had the feud, that he didn't play Joker or Two-Face in the one film because he didn't get the Joker role in the other, and they didn't apologize.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. And in this movie, it created a family feud,
Which
is a great TV show.
Boom. Or Family Matters.
We got options.
It didn't disappoint.
Well,
Fast-paced.
some people would think that.
Fast 10.
Yeah. I don't know.
Fast cars.
The beginning was slow.
Yeah, it was different. I think that they wanted to do something a little bit different, but in other words, the last several were so like cartoony.
Yeah.
And I think they tried to not do that with this,
Yeah.
but then they just were like, it's not working, so now we're gonna
Let's ramp it up again.
be a little cartoony.
Yeah.
So unrealistic.
And
I
it just wasn't done well. The shots did not go together.
Should we start out with entertainment scores first on this one? We don't have to right now, but
Yeah.
maybe we
let's
should go
switch it up.
backwards.
Yeah.
Talk about the actors last.
I
But
want to talk about a lot of this stuff.
you don't
There's
want
a
to?
lot of people in this film.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I mean, talk about you're building up a Marvel universe.
And they
Fast-
got quite a bit of screen time, though, you should add. I
Yeah.
mean, they all got a lot of screen time, except for the post-credit
Right.
actor.
Well, there's 2 of post credits. Neither of them got a lot
Yeah.
of screen. I don't think post credits should count as screen time.
No.
'Cause that's all Easter egg crap. Did you know they're going to make this into a trilogy now?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Not a fan.
I know. And then supposedly that's the end.
The end of the road.
I mean, you have the thing at the end where like a bunch of the crew is on, and
Yeah.
you have, the other thing at the end
Yeah.
and the other thing at the end, and it's like, okay, are we in like a video game where you just
Level up.
right, all the different lives?
Yeah.
I feel
New character.
right. It's like, what is going on?
And do you think they're going to call, because, this is something I want to talk to you about as well. Like when they start doing part 3s or part 2s of the franchise, you got it with Harry Potter, you got it with Hunger Games, we did it with the Avengers, kind of with Infinity War to Endgame. I mean, really, I think most people consider that part 1, part 2, even though the names are different.
It's definitely a part 1 and part 2.
Right, exactly.
For sure. Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about those films typically where, books, they try to, like they did with The Hobbit 2, where they try to expand content that's not always necessarily there, but they want to make money, so they're going to make multiple films. Like, I feel like most of the time it doesn't work out.
A lot of the time it doesn't. I agree. I think that we are in different times. When you had revolutionary things like Star Wars,
Yeah.
that's very different.
Yeah.
Could they have done that with Jaws? Oh, wait, they tried.
They did it with Titanic's got a sequel. Spoiler, it sinks.
Exactly. And so, it's just one of those things that it's like, okay, if they do it right and they do it well and they do it fast, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
But if they don't do it fast,
Right.
I've said fast. Did you get it yet?
Yeah. It's part of the family.
Fast.
Yeah.
Fast, furious. But anyway, if they don't produce them quickly and
Yeah.
get them out into the public, it'll bomb.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you just can't drag some of these things out that long.
Well, especially like a movie like this. There's very few times too where it's like, we're planning for a 2-part finale. Can get down with that. But now we're going to be like, actually, we might make it into 3 films. So like, how solid is your story going into it where you're like, actually, we're going to need more time? Or is it for the right reasons that they're trying to make a 3rd film out of this? Because that's we were talking about Star Wars previously. Like, that's why the sequels were awful. There was no like planned
right.
We don't have the planned trilogy. We know we're going to do 3 films. We have these actors hired, and what's going to happen each? It's up in the air.
Well, and we've talked about that before too. It's like, let's see how this does.
Yeah.
We'll leave it hanging. Let's see how this film does. If it does good enough, we'll go into a part 2, right? Like Dune.
Yeah.
Dune coming out. It's too long.
Yeah, way too long.
It took too many years for that whole thing.
Yeah.
And they literally were waiting to see how it would do in the theaters.
See, and that's why TV shows can do it, because you get done in May,
Yes.
and the new season starts in September. That means 3 months.
Yes.
It means you have the cliffhangers like, oh man, I'm so excited for next year. I'm going to do my summer stuff. Fall sets in. You can settle in and be excited for the series. But movies have a harder time doing that because the production time always takes significantly longer.
Right. And I think that, so I've watched some older stuff. Well, we were going to do one from 1976.
Yeah, we were.
But we just, things didn't work out. And that's okay. But also for Titanium Tuesday for X-Men, we're going to talk about that here in a little bit, actually. And, watching these older films, they tried.
Yeah.
Like everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, the actors, they were, trying to think. Well, not the producers, but the people who build the sets. What are they called?
Set designers?
Well, the set designers, but the production, like they actually build the sets. They build the houses. They used to build, all those things.
Right.
And everybody just poured into it. I mean, they've built whole cities for films.
Right.
I mean, cheaply, not, the fascia type stuff, but it's like you get these types of films and there is so much production. I would rather it look real.
Yep.
And be something that's James Bond.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Very similar.
I mean, do you want to talk about how well...
You just got to stick that Dungeons and Dragons
I really like that
dagger.
Movie, and I just am still slightly bitter that you did enjoy it. It's like...
it might be one of those that, at home on the small screen, it might do better for me.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of reasons. You just go watch the episode if you're wondering. But
Banshees.
Same thing.
Those are real life sets. They didn't put any production to anything.
Right. But the story was terrible.
Yeah, the story was awful.
I mean, the story was just terrible.
Yep.
But what the writers and all that kind of stuff, they would just pour into it. Yeah. And they had something to prove and all these things. Now it's just like, how much bigger can we do this to make more money and more money and more? Because
this was the most expensive movie to make out of the Fast and Furious franchise.
By a long way.
I think it's like, it was they were talking about up to a $340 million budget.
Yeah.
And they only made $67.5 million the first weekend. They're not going to make. They're not going to make.
They're up over $500,000 now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
That's too bad. $500,000
or
500 million.
$500 million. Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
I said that wrong. Yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
So they've definitely
made the money back,
which is all they really
I was hoping
need
that
to
would
do.
just cut down to only have them 2 films if the movie didn't do well,
and they'd jam it in. Yeah. So it's so complicated because I think the biggest problem for me when I go see a film, instead of them trying to compete with the one before, they're trying to compete with the one before or some of the other ones in the franchise and everything else.
Yeah.
And it's like, just write a good story.
And I feel like this movie didn't know what to focus on.
Well, I would say I disagree with that in a sense that it actually focused on one thing, and that was the villain. That was the revenge. True. But everybody got so much screen time. It was just, and that was what saved this film for me. Yeah, honestly, is that everybody kept throwing. They just kept throwing everybody in. Yeah, like we don't know a lot of things that I like. Everything is on a cliff. Yeah, and they're hanging. Yeah, and I want to know. Yeah, and it's gonna probably take 5 years to know. I hope not, and that's my point.
See, and here's the other thing for me with this franchise. I didn't start watching until the 7th movie came out.
Okay.
And I didn't start with the 7th movie just because like I heard what happened in the 7th movie, and for you to like fully like appreciate it, it would be good to at least understand some of the context of the other films. And so I think I started with like 5 and 6 is where I started.
I've heard that from other people too. Like, see the first 3 or 4, really 3 for sure, were like car culture stuff. Right, and then they just kind of escalated from there. Yeah, like they just
it shifted.
It did. Yeah,
pun intended.
Totally.
Yeah,
I know my cars. And yeah, so it is. It's interesting how it's all unfolding.
And I did end up seeing 1 through 4 as well. Like so, I've seen. Well, I didn't actually see 9. I'll be honest. Once I heard about space, I was like, I just don't want to see that.
It's goofy. It's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What I don't like about the story did end. Yeah. In my opinion, right? Like essentially. And so now they're trying to bring in, they're trying to push the story further. Yeah. And it shouldn't.
And it's weird because they're trying to push the forward.
And I'm trying to not have spoilers here for people. We'll get into those later, but
so they're trying to push the story forward and also close it at the same time.
Yeah,
it's a weird. You can't have both.
It's
worlds.
A weird thing.
I wasn't too entertained. I don't know. There's too much going on. The family. I talked about that. Everyone got screen time, but also there was so much going on, which makes sense if they're going to end up making a trilogy or even a 2-part. Again, I hope it's just 2-part. But some of this, like we're going to get into it, even cinematography, but even the shots and how they were done, like threw me off at times. Some of the slow-mo. I like ridiculousness. I like obnoxiousness. Campy. I do like that. I don't know if I'm a big car movie fan. Yeah. Movie about cars. So maybe that's why maybe we regressed it. But like there's a scene, and they showed in the trailers too, so it's not much of a spoiler, of where he gets picked up by 2 helicopters and then he jumps off the cliff, or not jumps off, he drives off the side of the bridge, comes down, they both crash into each other. I'm like, that's just too much. Either
you haven't done that before.
Either the physics, like, could you imagine like the helicopter people being like, "Oh, we didn't think about that. Like, what are we thinking? We could crash into each other." Like, I don't know.
Yeah, most helicopter pilots are pretty intelligent.
I would hope so.
And I agree with that 100%. However, when you're trying to do what they were trying to do, you're obviously on the 2 sides. And again, it was in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, but you're on the 2 sides. Mm-hmm. And then what he does is he uses essentially science. Gravity. Yeah. More than anything. Yeah. And that then pulls them forward, which essentially brings them together. And it makes sense that it would happen that way. Yeah. However, there's no way that car would outweigh those helicopters. Yeah. To move them that. So it's just like, it is so ridiculous. Yeah. It's fun.
And this is definitely not the most obnoxious. Like, they did tame it down, which I did appreciate overall. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little worried that they were going to try to,
I don't know how you
do
space.
the whole. Yeah, I mean, how
we going to Mars, baby.
Yeah, it's
take me on, Elon.
Elon Musk backseat, buddy. The Fast 10 boys are going. Right.
So I gave
but
it
overall entertainment, go.
I gave it a 3.7.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, that was. This isn't my favorite franchise. I don't think.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And I'm into cars.
Yeah.
It's gotten way ridiculous.
Yeah.
The first one was pretty realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, quite realistic actually. And so this has just gotten to be like, I'm gonna just watch to.
Even when they did the drag racing, they couldn't just let it be the race.
Right. And I do understand that. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I did understand it.
Yeah.
Because the bad guy's gonna do the bad things.
Yeah. Right.
No matter what.
But like they could have done like you turn into a car. Like there could have been so many different ways they could have done that.
I a million percent agree to that. Entertainment value is the definite high. It is the highest score in this film. So cinematography and actor chemistry are going to be lower than this.
Ooh.
But it's a 4.6.
Oh, look at you go.
I was very entertained.
That's good.
It felt a little long.
Yeah.
For sure.
Was it? It was a
2:20, something like that. Yeah, I could look here, but it was plenty long. They could have cut a half hour out of it, and I'd have been happy.
Yeah.
But so 4.6. 2:20, 1:41. It says.
It was so bad. It was not pieced together well, in my opinion.
I think the editing was where the cinematography and the editing
did not mesh.
No, they did not go hand to glove.
Because they did some weird slow motion stuff, and the way they went into other scenes was not great. Even I really didn't enjoy when they were. Spoiler, but I'm not going to really spoil anything. But like there's one point where he's driving down the dam. Like I didn't like how that was shot. I don't know how else you're going to do it.
Yeah. So it wasn't Hoover Dam, but it looks very similar to Hoover Dam. Have you been to Hoover Dam?
No.
Okay. I've been there a couple times. Actually, 4 or 5 times. And toured it twice. And so I've really looked at it. Yeah. You couldn't do that.
Yeah. No.
I mean, at all.
Yeah. No.
At all.
No.
Maybe if you built some sort of weird, special, super low to the ground, long something, maybe you wouldn't tumble over everywhere. Yeah. You just couldn't do it.
No.
And so that.
What you didn't see actually was the hoverboards that were right under the car.
That's what. Yeah.
Marty
that
McFly
sense.
came in.
Yeah.
And was like, "Hey, you're gonna need this." Vin Diesel, plop these under your car, drive any surface. That would be a great idea.
Right.
That's what they're missing in this franchise is hoverboards.
Maybe that's
Back to the Future, baby. Let's mix it with Fast and the Furious.
Yep.
It would be too far off.
Well, they did actually do that. Back to the Future was in it. You didn't catch that.
No, I did not.
The new DeLorean is in this.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah. Because it was the person who got stabbed. It came out.
Charlize Theron.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Oh, I definitely do remember that.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they started making those again, didn't they?
Yep. Like officially.
Yeah. So weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
They bombed so terribly bad when they were back in the 80s.
I don't see them doing too much of it this time around. Besides, you're just getting people on nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those, people like me.
People like you.
I was 10 years old when the first one came out.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm older than that now. And if I bought that, would that make me feel like a kid? You know what I mean? It's kind of like that thing.
Right.
Like midlife crisis.
Right, the nostalgia stuff.
It's totally, they're trying to totally get in on that.
Yeah.
Totally. It's very interesting. But anyway, so they were tied together, by the way.
Yeah.
Cinematography, what's your score?
I give it a 3.
Okay. I'm not quite as low as you are, but I'm going to just say it, 3.8. And I did like a few of the things that they did, and so I sort of just got rid of the things like, okay, this is like way beyond campy, goofy, like we're just doing this because we can.
What do you think of the bomb rolling scene?
I liked the first few minutes of it.
Yeah.
It drug out way too long.
Sure did.
I mean,
It was so obnoxious.
yeah. It was like, that's new.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
talking about like doing a half hour less. Like that had to be at least a 20, 25 minute scene.
Yeah.
And it just kept going.
Cut it in half would have been great.
Yeah. Random people are going random places. People are stuck. Randomly show back up. And then, spoiler, the Vatican gets blown up. And again, it's kind of like the dam scene, which I didn't like to begin with, going with cinematography of like it explodes, and then you get the cheesy like pushing the car forward, and I just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I say, I think the beginning of it, the reason it was so slow is like they're starting out like, hey, we're gonna make this realistic and blah blah blah.
Do you know how many times they said
do some
family in this film?
No, you have it?
56 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did you find that?
IMDb.
Oh, okay, nice.
I'll credit my source. I should have done that to begin with. I am sorry, IMDb. Thank you for all the facts that you provide me.
Right. What'd you think of having Paul Walker in this again?
I think it's so weird. They should. There's things that should just stay shut. He had such a nice ending.
I agree.
I don't know why they brought him back.
Yeah, I mean,
besides the whole fact of like, I'm going to take down your whole family. Like,
right.
I don't know. Like, he could have gone into hiding, or like, they didn't need to. Is basically the bottom line. I don't know what they're thinking.
No, I agree.
And then they did the whole like. Again, I really like the song of like, it's been a long time. I don't know what the actual song is called. It's been a long day without you. Sorry, long day.
Yeah.
Like that song was good, and I liked how they tied it in with the music when they were doing that part, because I thought that was really cool. But it as a whole premise, I did not like.
Yeah, it didn't. I didn't care for it either. Actor chemistry.
I like Jacob.
Yeah.
He's probably my favorite character.
Okay.
I really liked his car and his interaction with the kid.
Little B.
It'll be. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think they did a good job of like doing that whole character arc in the interaction that he had. But I mean, like you said, there was a lot of characters in this film.
What did you think of Gail being in it at the end?
I thought that was different.
Very different.
Yeah. I don't know. They're setting up for a lot. And I could see why they are wanting two films, because of the stuff that was introduced at the end.
Yeah.
But the other thing, Jason Momoa as a villain, I do like him as a villain character. He kind of reminded me of like a Joker-esque, but not as good.
Not even close.
No.
I can see what you mean, but
like they were trying to me, that's the villain they were trying to mimic, and it didn't land.
Yeah, it didn't land at all. It I guess honestly, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole painting of the nails with the dead people,
so weird.
And just some of the different things, that was just
licking blood.
It was just, I mean, they did say, he's got clear mental health issues, but other than that, I mean, it was just bizarre.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it.
No.
But what was interesting is it didn't really track through the whole thing.
His character was so up and down.
Yeah, and I don't. It didn't look like that was on purpose. I mean, it probably was.
Right.
But it was like, it didn't track well with me at all.
No.
So Brie Larson, Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that was weird.
I mean, can somebody give her a sandwich?
You know what I was thinking this whole time was like, how many times? Sorry, I'm stuttering like a madman. If I were to watch this film again, I would be curious how many times she blinked in this film, because it was not much.
Okay,
she was
I didn't notice that.
Constantly staring.
Sure.
And she has such like a stare down. And I was like, does she know how to act? Like, does she know how humans typically interact with other humans?
Apparently, she is not a well-liked human.
No.
I've seen some different clips and stuff, and she's doesn't seem too friendly.
talking about spoilers,
And
I'm
it's-
surprised she didn't die off.
Yeah.
I wish she would have. It would have made a lot of sense.
Yeah. Different. So all these different characters, there's a whole bunch of them that were really good. I like Han. He's one of my
he's
favorites. He just is so chill and yet BA.
The Interceptor, or maybe I don't know the movie. Jason Statham.
Yeah.
He's fun.
Yeah. That'd be the Transporter.
What did I say?
The Interceptor.
To be fair, I feel like he could be in a film that's called The Interceptor.
Yeah.
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 Jason Statham, if you want a movie idea, let me know. I like Roman too.
Yeah. Roman's
He's
character
weird.
is fun.
He stays consistent.
Yes.
And I really enjoy that. And his cockiness and arrogance is just funny.
Yeah. So actor chemistry in this, I don't know if I really want to say it. With A-listers like this, I would say, and with this much experience that they have, I was let down.
They should have had more chemistry.
Yes.
Yep.
And so it's a 3.8.
I give it a 3.6. Not super impressed.
No.
It's hard. They have too many people at this point in the film. Like you talked about a lot of the, there's a lot of, everyone got their screen time, but that's probably why it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. And it would have been a lot better. Action film sweet spot is typically to me 2 hours at max. Like 2 hours is a good time frame.
It did move fast.
Say that 10 times fast.
Which it saved it.
Yeah.
It totally saved it.
Yep.
If this would have been 2:20 and it was slower like some of the other films were,
Yep.
it would have been terrible. But it did move fast.
It did.
Pun intended.
How many times do you think we said fast?
A lot. I don't know.
Do you think it's better than 56?
Were you counting? No.
No. Are you sure?
We could go for 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I bet we could.
Yeah, but we got to make sure it's fast paced.
Quick, fast. Type an email or a comment.
With lots of typos at legitq@maddysmoviemix.com.
Hammer the share button. Go ahead and hammer out a comment to us. Go ahead and hammer the like button. Go ahead and hammer the subscription button. Go ahead and hammer the notification bells, because you know what? That's the best way you can support us. We appreciate it.
Life's too short to be uncomfortable, so make others uncomfortable and wear something from www.shinybrandproducts.com.